What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to another episode of the Crew MotorFest. Now, obviously, you can see I've gotten my wheel senses down. Hold on, let's see if I can actually hit this one as well. Yeah. Let's see, we'll hit right. Honestly, you guys, like, once you get used to the physics, this game is pretty good. I mean, it takes a while to get used to. But once you get used to it, it's not that bad at all. Now, I mean, like, you can really have some fun in this game if you wanted to. Now, of course, this video isn't to show you guys how to drift in MotorFest. So let's pull over right here and let me show you the very first feature that I think literally not just TDU, but every racing game needs. And this is specifically for you wheel users. You can actually see the buttons corresponded to the wheel. And what I mean by that is that if you've ever played a racing game, sometimes you may notice that instead of actually seeing the button polygons or shapes that you have on your controller or letters, you end up seeing numbers, which for a lot of us doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But what have they done here? They have actually mapped every single different icon for wheel, and I'm in love with it. So when I see something pop up on the menu and it says square, I know I need to press square and not the number 4 or whatever number that they choose for it. I mean, this is such a quality of life feature that I don't understand why other racing games have it. So I really hope that this is something that we see at the final release of TDU. But let's move on though. So the next thing I want to talk about is the cockpit immersion in this game. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's take a drive. I'm gonna shift this into gear, turn on the vehicle. And you may notice when you play this game, just when you're cruising, you can kind of see the camera move. Now, when you go over bumps and stuff like that, your whole camera kind of shakes. And this just makes the entire experience a lot more fun. I mean, when you see it moving up and down, you really feel immersed inside of the vehicle. And the crazy thing is, this is actually... Oh, what the actual Now, I always forget not all players are ghosted. Love it. Anyways, now like I was saying, the immersion you get from this cockpit camera, especially when you maneuver, go over bumps like I said, try not to hit anything there, it makes you feel like you're actually in the vehicle. You're kind of immersed in it. And that's kind of why I love the cockpit cam. In fact, I think I've spent a majority of my time playing in cockpit cam on this game, which, to be fair, yeah, we're normally I wouldn't be doing this, but because it's an arcade game, I think I get a pass. But anyways, but the whole experience, the sound of the engine inside of cockpit, if I actually change back, you guys can see it doesn't really, it sounds obviously still good, but it doesn't sound immersive. And if you go back to, whoops, hold on. Man, I'm dead. But anyways, these things really do make you feel immersed in the car, and that's something that is pretty key to TDU, that being obviously it's a driving game. And feeling immersed inside of the cockpit is one thing that we kind of need to have in TDU. And that includes obviously the steering wheel animation, which you guys can see my player working on it. Once you get the physics right, honestly guys, this game is a blast. Let's move on to the other feature though. Now this is kind of weird because it doesn't work sometimes and it does work. But you can see that there's actually animations for the pedal, as you guys can see responding when I push it down. Now this is probably a really bad time to show it because it's night. But yeah, just a really nice attention to detail. It's just a shame that when I clutch in and rev, it doesn't work. When I'm stationary, it doesn't work either. But nonetheless, it's there. And this also just kind of shows the camera movement and how good it is. And while we're also here, 900-degree steering. Guys, how long has it been until we finally had a racing game that can do this? And it matches the actual wheel rotation that I have as well. But the thing that I love most about this is quite interesting. Now, they have something called dynamic mode, which basically, depending on what vehicle you're driving, it actually changes to the correct steering angle of that vehicle for that one-to-one immersion. Now, obviously, let's switch to, for example, a race car, and that being if we go to this one, for example, obviously you have two handles. You can't cross over in one of these cars. So the wheel rotation stops right here, guys. I cannot put the wheel any further than that, and that's how it drives. If I quickly turn this on, it still feels really good. Like the whole cockpit immersion, man, it's the whole package that they've done here, and I really hope TDU, like, this is honestly a new standard in my opinion, because I've never felt this immersed in a cockpit camera before, guys, being honest. I mean, obviously TDSC, we're gonna have to wait and see what that looks like in the final version, but this, guys, I can't even lie to you, it is golden immersion, and it's an arcade game. Now obviously with it being an arcade game, some of these features are kind of exaggerated per se, but nonetheless you can still make the cockpit cam feel as immersive without having to do all of that. And of course, if we go back to a regular car, let's say this old Porsche right here, you guys might notice something quite interesting. Now obviously this wheel is quite different. It doesn't have 900 and it doesn't have like 360 either, which is quite beautiful. And while we're also here, there's another feature of this game that I like. Now when you're playing with H-shifter, you may notice that sometimes you don't know what vehicle you're driving or how many gears it has. So if I put this in 6th, it's just gonna put it to neutral. However, what I do like is that it shows up a red light on your speedometer while you're driving when you're in the highest gear. This is super useful because in those moments when you don't remember how many gears your car has and you shift it into, you know, obviously a non-existent one, you won't have that issue happen to you whatsoever. Although one thing that this game really needs is a field of view slider for your interior camera. I couldn't find one. Maybe I'm wrong and it's actually somewhere in the menus, but I couldn't find it. Nonetheless, I really hope that's something they add in a future update, because the immersion is already there. I just wish we had more customization for it in the Crew MotorFest. But anyways, let's continue on. Welcome, my friends, to the Crew MotorFest pretty much grand feature, grand races. Now these are quite interesting solely because there's no crossplay in free roam. However, there is actually crossplay in, oh, hold on, I need to remember, as Raza5 said, use nitros in the ear. Oh, somehow that kind of worked. Anyways, as I was saying, this is crossplay, so you can actually go on with your mates and play this game with them. However, free roam isn't, which I found quite interesting. I'm not really sure why. Okay, let's see if I can actually hit this. Now, the reason that I kind of want to bring this up for TDSC is the fact that I would love to be able to see crossplay in TDSC. Now, whether or not that happens at launch, honestly, I'm unsure, because there's quite a lot of work, I'm sure, on servers. I mean, you want the service to be flawless in a game like that, and I always forget to shift up. What am I doing? It's quite hard talking and driving. But I will say thank you to Ubisoft for fixing the force feedback on collisions. I'm 7th, like Alex7. No, I'm tied with someone. Okay. Hey, once we get to the road, hopefully we can win something here. Now, I mean, of course, TDU being a whole social MMO aspect thing, I wouldn't mind if they even brought crossplay to just races and leaderboards, and then introduced, you know, free roam at a later time if, you know, they don't have time to incorporate everything. Because at the end of the day, I would love to be able to play, and I think not just me, a lot of us would be able to play with friends across consoles. But nonetheless, this is a feature which I'm quite interested to see if they bring crossplay fully at a later date. Hold on, let's see if I can overtake here. 5th place, not bad. Finally in a car again. Gotta make sure I don't lose traction, as I've learned quite often. There we go. Yeah, no cap. Wheel feels quite good in this game. Quite good indeed. Oh, who's overtaking me? No way, a Civic, bro. Come on. Honestly, for my second race, 5th place isn't that bad. Especially considering what had happened beforehand in the last one. As you guys might have saw the last video I uploaded regarding this game. Let's see if I can hit this properly. Somehow I did. Yo, one thing I have to give props to on Ivory's, like, guys, the immersion. I don't know how many times I have to say this. The immersion of this game and its cockpit camera alone is what makes me love playing wheel on this. It's not because, you know, arcade physics is bad or something like that. it's just immersive. So even when the physics does bad and I don't understand what's happening, I don't really care because the cockpit is so immersive. I forget about that, which yeah is a bad thing when you think about it in the greater scheme of things. But this isn't supposed to be a Simcade game, so I shouldn't really expect Simcade stuff from it. And oh yes, the infamous 918 Spider. Listen bro, drifting isn't as fast as taking lines. I learned that. Oh, and there's me crashing into a wall. Oh, this is gonna be a close race, even for 5th. Like, why would I have to struggle for 5th, bro? Damn. Oh, that's not the finish line? Oh, it is. Okay. This game, bro. This game sometimes. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, because this feature alone, I'm telling you guys, the cockpit immersion is what's keeping me hooked on this game. I forget about all else, and that's because I'm just waiting for a driving game, something that feels immersive. So hopefully this game can carry me until TDSC. You guys already know what it is. I'm Alex7. Video on... No. Video on this side of the screen for more TDSC stuff. You guys already know what it is. I'm Alex7. And I'll see you guys in another video. I'm out, guys. Peace.